Melanie's Matters has collaborated with High Kappa. Now, what that means for the listening audience is that you all get a larger audience. So that is great and that is wonderful. I'm really excited about that. I'm really really excited. So if you're interested, just hop on over to high kappa.com. That's HIGHCAPPA.com. Listen, on this site is some good information. If you are a person who loves to get information about celebrities, this is definitely a good site for that. And as well, if you like to get some tidbits on some new artists that have hit the street, it's a great site for that. So again, we have collaborated. It's going to be a good matchup, a good team. So I'm very excited about that. So with all of that great news out of the way, I gotta introduce Tatt2timmy. So Tatt2timmy, how are you?
I'm great. How you doing?
I'm great. I'm wonderful. I'm excited. So this is what I do with every guest that comes on to the show. So you have to give us first your history, and then I'm going to ask you a question, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be an interesting response. But tell us a little bit about your history.
Okay. My name is Tatt2timmy. I was born in Washington D.C. and Southeast, and I stayed there for a little bit. Then my parents moved to Capitol Heights, which is in PG County. So that's
Hmm.
where I really grew up at, and I became a man. I understood life there, So I started doing music. I've always had a love for music and writing stories and stuff like that, but I started taking it serious maybe like 2 or 3 years ago, where I really put my all into it.
Okay. So when you say that you've always had a love for music, so give me some of your favorites.
My all-time favorite is Tupac. Even though I was really young when he was out, my brother used to listen to a lot of Tupac, and I remember when Tupac passed, and it was on TV, and like my brother was like actually emotional, and I never seen him like be that way about anybody. So that caused me to, when I got older, I looked more into Tupac. So Tupac would be my favorite rapper. He's the most influential rapper in my life, and I'm a big Lil Wayne fan too, because he got a bunch of metaphors and it's catchy. It's crazy.
Yeah, wow, that those are two powerhouses there that you mentioned. Wow, Tupac. I definitely grew up listening to him, and I saw him evolve. So
Mhm.
for me, one thing that I understood about him is that not only was Tupac a great rapper, like you said about Lil Wayne, he was a great lyricist too. And one thing that I definitely loved about Tupac is that he understood his history. He understood what was going on at the present time. He just understood some things that I
Mhm.
think some rappers just don't, they don't get or they don't have a clue or maybe they don't know how to display. But Tupac is definitely a
Mhm.
great one in my opinion. Lil Wayne, great lyricist, great lyricist. I'm not really a rap person, but I have listened to some of his music, and I'm like, wow, he really knows how to hang words together, which is awesome. Yeah. So
Mhm.
two powerhouses. That's good. Anyone else? Maybe someone in the R&B genre.
Well, as far as R&B, I'm a big fan of The Dream. I don't know if you listen to The Dream, but I like a lot of his stuff. I got like every album that he's put out. I like a lot of old school R&B too. Um, when I say old school, I mean like 70s, 80s type stuff, because that's what I grew up around with my dad.
Okay.
Um, yeah, it's a bunch of R&B. Like I like hits. Like so, I like Rihanna stuff. Like Rihanna's new album is hard. I like good music. It doesn't matter the genre.
Okay. So you can go in and out of genres, country, soul, rock and roll. You can do it all.
Yeah, not so much country, only some country. There's this one country band that I do like, but other than that, I don't really get into too much country.
Wow. Okay. I mean, it's your preference, for sure. But to me, in my opinion, country tells they tell stories, great stories. So
Yeah.
that was your history of your musical history. So let me
Uh-huh.
ask you this: the name tattoo, where did that originate from? Although I could probably guess, how did you get how did you get that name?
Well, the tattoo Timmy came from because at one point in time, I really enjoyed doing tattoos a lot, and I just like art. So
Mm.
I would love doing tattoos, and I would love getting tattoos. So that's where the tattoo part came from, and the Timmy part came from me just being this guy who wasn't afraid to be himself. Like, I don't really talk how the guys in my neighborhood talk. I talk a little bit different. I have like a different type of swag, like I'm from somewhere else. So that's where the Timmy part comes from.
I'm trying to find the correlation. So help bridge that for me. So Timmy and does Timmy have a different meaning to it, or
Yeah, it's just like in my neighborhood. It's hard to come across a guy named Timmy. Like that's like some suburban kid stuff from like
oh,
from what I'm saying. And like I was
okay.
that different kid where like I was skateboarding, I was doing all the stuff that people didn't think was cool, but I did what I wanted to do because I was my own individual.
Okay, I'm glad you said that. I'm so glad you said that. So, being your own individual, and I'm assuming you grew up in a urban area.
Yes.
Okay, growing up in an urban community and being different from what you saw on a daily basis, how was that for you?
Well, in an urban area, I'm not sure where you grew up at or if you're familiar with urban areas, but
I
you
am.
tend to learn quick. Yeah, you learn quick. Like it's either you be soft and you just get picked on, or you let people know that you stand for something. And I was never like, I'm a gangster, I'm gonna come shoot your house up. Like that wasn't me.
Okay.
But at the same time, like nobody ever like played with me though, because for one, I never gave people a reason to, and then also too, people knew that I would handle my business if I had to. So
Okay.
being being different, at first it has its problems because like people joke with you and say little stuff like, "Oh, you weirdo," but I love being called that.
You love being called a weirdo.
Yes.
I love it. So, in other words, you
Yeah.
love being an individual.
Correct.
Correct. So, you mentioned a little
Uh-huh.
bit about you were skateboarding when you're living in an urban community and you're going down the street with a skateboard, and so you were different. I'm sure. I'm pretty sure
Mhm.
people looked at you like, "What the hell is going on with him?" So,
Mhm.
are you telling me you kind of relished in that fact that you were so different, and then people kind of like ostracized you?
Uh, yeah, it was to the point where like people seen it and they was like, okay, it's okay to be different. You know what I mean? Like, I
Yeah.
remember years ago, when I was in school, not like high school, I was in college for a little
Uh-huh.
bit, and I was just upset at the fact that I wore so much like Vans sneakers. I was upset at the fact that like there was no skateboard shops nearby. There was no where for you could for where you could actually skateboard at, in my neighborhood. Now they just built one. It's brand new, like two years old maybe, and that's the kind of stuff I was doing then. I would write letters. I would just write. Period. I always enjoyed writing.
Okay. And there's nothing wrong with that at all. I love people who are individuals, and I don't think when I think of people who are individuals, I'm gonna tell you the image that immediately comes to mind. The one thing that comes to mind is, you know how you can probably go to any store in this country and you can find a black umbrella, right? When I think of people who are individualized or have their own identity, I think of a sea of black umbrellas and it's one red umbrella. And that one red umbrella represents that person or that thing that is different than everyone else. Every time I think of someone who is, just different from everyone else, that's the first vision that comes to my mind. And I think that's awesome. I really do think that's awesome. I'm assuming you are in your 20s, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So if you're in your 20s and you already have the mindset to not fit in, to not conform, I think that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm a lot wiser than the average person that's my age, and it's because I'm curious. I've always been curious. When I was a kid, what I really wanted to be when I grew up was an astronaut. So like when I got older, and like Google was the best thing that could happen for me, because then I was able to learn on my own. I wasn't forced to sit and learn what the teachers taught me. You know what I'm saying? So like my girl, she has a son and he's 9 years old, and just the other day I was talking to him about like not really telling them not to learn what's in school, but it's okay to go out and learn on your own. Like do your own research, do your own Google. Jay-Z had a line. He said, "Type it in. Google's your friend, bro." He wasn't lying.
Right. I'm glad again that you said that. See, this is a good conversation. I love it because you're 20 years younger than me, and I love when I hear younger people say, you know what, even though I was taught this in high school or whatever, I know now that there is a information highway that will give me any information that I ask it to give me. So kudos to you because you're going the extra mile, to try to learn something more, to try to learn something different. That's awesome. That's awesome. That's really awesome.
100.
Yeah. So what we're going to do is we are going to take a very brief commercial break, and then we're going to come back and we're going to get into this great conversation.
Okay. Hey, you know rockin' with your boy, Tatt2timmy. I also go by it's Timmy. We live right now with Blog Talk Radio. Follow them, support, show the love. Also follow me and my team. EDOG. Stack Flip on the beat. He made this beat right here. He got nothing for foul all day. But now y'all can't have this one though, because actually I'm about to rap on this joint. Check out my mixtape, Ink. It's on Spinrilla. Download it right now. Download the plays, it's moving sky high. Oh yeah, go over to Tatt2timmy.com. That's my site. Also check out EDOG site, hackappa.com for all your hip hop blog site news. Follow me on Instagram at Tatt2timmy. At Timmy Hendrix. Yeah. One last special shout out. Okay. One more time to Blog Talk Radio for the opportunity. Thank you so much, love. We got hold the DMV down. From the DMV, man. Everybody from here, like, they don't like to see nobody shine, so it feels real good when you got a party and you got a business and, you know what I mean, everybody looking out for each other. Let's get it. Money we all eat. Yeah.
Hey y'all, we are back. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. Usually I would have ran a couple more commercials behind that, but that beat is like dope. And I ain't even a rap person, but I'm like, damn, that's really hot. That's hot.
Thank
That's
you.
really hot.
Thank you.
That is
My
hot.
brother,
All right, go
my
ahead.
brother Stack Swift. My brother Stack Swift did that. And it was specifically for the show. I didn't want to give y'all nothing, like nothing used or nothing. I wanted to give y'all something fresh and original.
That was hot. Look, that was appreciated, and that was like, I was like, whoa! All right, can't tell me nothing now. That's hot.
Yeah,
But
100. That's y'all can spin it.
yeah, and let me tell your brother I said that was hot. Look, I was trying to dig
He
into
listen.
some words that I ain't even familiar with the young population, but this time I said that was hot.
he listening. He hear you.
All right, tell us that was really hot. All right, so you guys, thank you so much for hanging out on Facebook. It is really appreciated. Now, Tatt2timmy, so we talked about your history. We talked about your name. We talked about some of the people who you considered great in your eyes. And so now one question that I definitely have to ask you, what is your opinion about today's rap versus the rap of yesteryears when you talked about Tupac Shakur? So what do you think is a difference, or is it a difference?
I mean, honestly, it's a big difference. It sucks now. Like, I don't know
Oh,
if you've seen the, I don't know if you've seen the Double XL, the freshman 2016 class.
okay. No.
Yeah, I wasn't convinced. It was terrible.
Okay.
It's too gimmicky. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's guys up there with like satchels that look like purses. Guys with like red plaques with beads on it, and you know what I'm saying. I think if Tupac was alive, I think he personally would walk in the room and open hand slap most of them, or like take his belt off and just like whip their ass. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, there,
I
there
don't know.
are there
Go
are
ahead.
good rappers though, in this there are good rappers in this era now, but like the industry is so flooded with gimmicks, like the good rappers get covered up. Like you don't even really hear about them.
Yeah. You made a good point. I think I had a rapper on. I think it was last week or the week before, and I refer to today's rap as bubblegum rap because I'm just like, what are you saying? What message are you trying to convey to people? Because I can't understand any of the lyrics that are coming out your mouth. But I'm glad someone from your generation said it. So someone from my generation, they look at us kind of differently when we say that. But I'm glad someone from your generation said it. So kudos to you. My hat goes off to you. All right.
Yeah.
So my next question that I have for you is this, and then we're going to talk about your project after we go to commercial. But what makes your rap, your style of rap, what makes it different from everything else that's out here?
It's just because it's different than everything else. When I do music, I don't. Sometimes I go in blind. I don't have an approach. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know what the topic is going to be about. I just let it go, and
Okay.
like that's my escape. You know,
Mm.
those moments when I'm recording and I'm doing music, life is away from me. Like I'm on another place, and that's how I know that, like that's my true calling, and that's what I'm supposed to do. I have no direction when I start doing a song. I have no intentions. I don't know how it's going to sound or nothing. I just do it, like
Wow.
Nike.
Wow. So you just go into it. I guess it would be. I'm a writer, so I think I can definitely relate. In order for me to write, I just have to be in a good quiet space, a nice quiet space, and I can just go and just be gone.
Mhm.
Yeah. So
Right.
I get it. I definitely can relate to that. That's a good thing. So to date, how many songs do you have out? Give or take.
I'll Uh, I have thousands of songs, but that's out. My mixtape is out on Spinrilla. It's called Ink. It's like 16 tracks on there. On iTunes, I have about 4 tracks. Me and EDLG. Some of them by myself and some of them with him. And yeah, so about four tracks on iTunes, 16 on the mixtape, and then on SoundCloud, it's probably like 20 tracks up there. But all of them you can find. The links to everything is on my website, Tatt2timmy.com.
Okay. So another question is, how does it feel? Because for the most part, you're an independent artist, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So how does that feel?
It feels good actually because no one gets to tell me what to do, what lane to choose. If I wanna go in there and I wanna make a song about stuff that I know I shouldn't be talking about, like opening my mind up, using powers that was passed down from the Egyptians, stuff that can get you killed in the industry. There's no one that can tell me not to do that. That got a little deep, right?
Okay. Yeah. So I'm going to hold that thought for 1 second because I'm going to have you explain that a little bit when we come back from commercial break, okay?
Okay.
All right.
I know you love smell goods just as much as I do.
What?
But hey, I love Miss Aqua J's homemade soy candles because they're soy based. And oh, the smell is wonderful. If you're interested in learning more about the products that Miss Aqua J has, please give her a call at 336 306 3118. You won't be sorry. The book, A Typical Journey, is now being made into a movie. If you are interested in being in the movie, please send an email to melaniesmatters@gmail.com. That's MELONIS Matters MATTERS @gmail.com, or you can call or text 443-790-6303, and don't forget to pick up your copy on Amazon.com. If you are an entrepreneur, you have to be a part of this huge revelation. Visit www.entrepreneursofbaltimorellc.com. Do you have a dream that you're just not sure of how to make it a reality? No problem. Visit www.jnfenterprises.com and you'll be guided as to how to make your dream a reality. JNF Enterprises, bringing visions to reality, building the 21st century company. This is the Melanie's Matter Show, where we highlight artists, business owners, and we also talk about the matters of the community. If you would like to be a guest on our show, please send an email to melaniesmatters@gmail.com. That's MELONISMATTERS@gmail.com. If you would like to promote your business, please give us a call at 443-790-6303, and you can also check out our website to see the promotional items that we have. The website is www.theworksofmelanie.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Thank you guys for hanging out. People on Facebook, I see you. Thank you guys so much. So we are here with Tatt2timmy. Tatt2timmy has told us about his history. He's talked again about the legends in his eyes. So we talked about Lil Wayne and Tupac. We talked a little bit about
Mhm.
him, growing up and everything. And so before the break, I asked him a question, and the question was, "How does it feel to be an independent artist?" And basically, he said the
Mhm.
freedom, but he was about to get into what that freedom entails for him. So I'm gonna allow him to go ahead and continue that thought. So, Tatt2timmy, please explain to us, what does that freedom mean to you?
It's nothing like freedom. You don't want to be a slave. You don't want someone like over your back telling you, because when it gets like that, it's not art. Art is when
Mm.
you are free and you create. Now, I don't want to get into anything religious or whatever, but everybody has a brain of their own, and everyone is should be able to use their brain to create. And if you exercise your mind, there's no limit to what you can do.
Okay. Great answer. Great answer. So we talked about that, and see, I think one thing about being an artist who's not really signed to a specific what do they call it, the overseer. I
Label.
can't I can't remember the name of it. But when you're signed to a label, that's the name I'm looking for. You have a lot of
Mhm.
constraints, a lot of things that you can't do. So you're right. It's a freedom. It's definitely a freedom. So my next and my last question for you is let's see, what makes your style of rap different? Because we can compare
Because
you.
it's
Go ahead.
because it's nothing that you or I have ever heard of before. It's just different. Like I said,
Okay.
because of the approach that I take, I don't step in the booth and try to make something that you heard before. I only can make what's coming out of my mind and soul, and I make what feels good to me. So there's no other Tatt2timmy on this planet. So you'll probably never hear anything that sounds like me.
All right. So with that little bit of piece of information that you just gave us, I believe it. I totally believe it. I was checking out some of your work, and I was like, okay, he definitely has his own kind of flavor to it, which is great because I think a lot of times rappers can get caught up because they hear the Little Waynes and the Drakes. They hear that all day, and then when they sit down and start to produce, hey, guess what? It sounds like Little Wayne. Hey, it sounds like Drake. So
Yeah.
that's a problem. It's a huge problem,
See,
right?
I I learned this from when I used to play basketball when I was small. And my coach, he told me, he said, I don't want y'all to go home. Don't be watching the NBA games. Don't be watching Allen Iverson and all them. Y'all need to watch the college basketball. And
Hmm.
it's deep if you really think about it. He wanted us to get the fundamentals. Don't think you Michael Jordan doing finger rolls before you learn how to lay up off the
Oh,
backboard. You know what I'm saying? So I take that same
okay.
approach with my music. You got to learn the fundamentals first. Once you learn how to address a track, you got to address a track like you would put a suit and tie on in the morning. You got to address it the same way. It's a format to everything.
Hmm. I like that. I could clearly see that vision. So don't go home and watch MJ. Go home
Mhm.
and watch college. That makes sense. That makes sense. Learn
Mhm.
the basics first. Okay, so that's
Yeah.
applicable
Exactly.
in the rap game as well.
Exactly.
Okay, so one last question that I have for you, and then we really want to talk about your new stuff. But one more question that I have for you. So how is it being connected to High Kappa? How is that? Or how has it been for you?
It's great. That's my brother from the hood. So like, been a while, but we wound up linking back up, and he always had been in the music, and he's the one that like kind of showed me that I can do it and I can record on my own. So
Right.
yeah, we just linked back up. It was kind of a thing where we gonna network together, and
Mm.
and and the thing that I like about him so much, he's the fire on my back, like, because everybody gets lazy, everybody gets content, and you get a little bit chilled out, but it's always him. He'll text me, "You'll laugh, you working? Did you finish the track that I sent you?" You know what I'm saying? So
Wow.
it's a blessing because he keeps me working, and a lot of the business side of stuff that, like, I'm an artist. I just want to make music. Like,
Right.
he'll handle most of that stuff for me because I'm not really good at responding to emails and stuff like that. So
Okay. So that's a good marriage. That's a good combo, right?
yep.
Okay. Great. All right, so we're going to take a very brief break and then we're going to get into your new stuff. So, ladies and gentlemen, stick with me. We got a few more minutes left.
Do you have a dream that you're just not sure of how to make it a reality? No problem. Visit www.jnfenterprises.com and you'll be guided as to how to make your dream a reality. JNF Enterprises, bringing visions to reality, building the 21st century company. I know you love smell goods just as much as I do. But hey, I love Miss Aqua J's homemade soy candles because they're soy based and oh, the smell is wonderful. If you're interested in learning more about the products that Miss Aqua J has, please give her a call at 336 306 3118. You won't be sorry.
Hey, you know rockin' with your boy, Tatt2timmy. I also go by. We live right now with Blog Talk Radio. Follow them, support, show the love. Also follow me and my team. EDOG, Stack Strip on the beat. He made this beat right here. He got nothing to file all day. But now y'all can't have this one though, because actually I'm about to rap with this show. Check out my mixtape, Ink. So Spinrilla, download it right now. Download the place, it's moving sky high. Oh yeah, go over to Tatt2timmy.com. That's my site. Also check out EDOG site, hackappa.com for all your hip hop blog site news. Follow me on Instagram at Tatt2timmy. At Timmy Hendrix. Yeah. One last special shout out. Okay. One more time to Blog Talk Radio for the opportunity. Thank you so much, love. Tatt2timmy.com. We got to hold the DMV down. From the DMV, man. Everybody from here, like, they don't like to see nobody shine, so it feel real good when you got a party and you got a business and, you know what I mean, everybody looking out for each other. Let's get it. Money we all need. Yeah.
Y'all could tell that I really like that, right? I'm just like, yeah, that's gonna be my new jam. I love that. I so love that. Y'all, welcome back, everybody on Facebook. Thanks for hanging out. Those of you who are listening via Blog Talk, thank you guys so much. So, Tatt2timmy, your new project. Give us the juice on that. Spill the beans. What you got?
If you haven't heard it yet, then I don't know what's wrong with you. You gotta do yourself a favor and go ahead and get inked up because what it is it's original music. You know, it's different and there's something on it for everybody. Like, I'm not saying that you'll like the whole entire thing. You know, even though most people do, majority do, but the thing is it's something on there for the young crowd, for the old crowd, and I designed it to be that way. So it's a pleasant experience. I wanted to make sure like it would be not too many tracks, but it's 16. I thought that was a good number to where you don't have to skip anything. You can just listen to it all the way through.
Okay. So out of the 16 tracks that you have, what's your favorite one?
It's kind of fan chosen by the people who everybody. It's a song. It's called 88 I Rock T-Top. Everybody, they make me like the song. I go to work, they're playing it. I'm like, what is it with this song? And it's like one of the most simplest songs. I was just playing around. There's another track on there, Not Convinced, which is on iTunes. That's a pretty dope sounding track. And Born Winning, that's probably my favorite track, unbiased. Born Winning, probably.
Okay.
Because on that track, it gets kind of lyrical.
Okay.
I don't know. You can't ask me this because I like the whole thing.
Right. And I was like, well, he's different because most people be like, well, I like all of them. But you came to that conclusion anyway. You were trying. You were trying to. Go ahead.
There's certain tracks where that will stand out. Like Born Winning is different. Superpowers is different. That's going to be something like you never heard of before. If you believe in love, then you believe in that song. The outro, that's hard too. If you like a classic hip hop fan and you like this hard stuff, like you just gotta listen to it.
Gotta listen to it. All right, so y'all heard that. You gotta listen to it. So y'all heard it. Go to Tatt2timmy.com and listen to it. The first thing that you're going to see when you go to Tatt2timmy.com is you're going to see pictures, I should say, of Tatt2timmy, and he's all tatted up. Why not, right? Tatt2timmy, right?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So that's the first thing you're going to see. But guys, check it out. Check it out. So Tatt2timmy, in closing, what do you want the people to know about your music?
I just want the people to know that everything that I make is 100% from the heart. Like, I've invested so much time and so much money and so much effort, and I've learned so much with this stuff. Like, a lot of people don't know that I record myself. The whole studio process, most of the time I'm in there by myself doing everything, and that's when my team comes in, Stacks. He helps with the master, but I mix everything, then we ship it to EDOG, and he put it out on the shelves. So what I want people to know is, like, everything is 100 with me when it comes to this music. And, like, if you become a part of my fan base and you get this mixtape and you get inked up, I promise you'll be a fan for life, because the one thing that you'll notice about my music, people will never guess that I recorded myself. It's quality over quantity with me. So when you hear everything like that, the joint that I sent you just for the radio drop, everybody like, man, you putting too much time into it. Nah, everything that has my name on it got to be clean.
Wow. You're
not gonna step out the house with no stains on your shirt, right?
Wow. Okay. As you're speaking, I'm on Facebook, just putting it out there. But you made a great point. Everything that has your name on there, it's yours. It's yours. So I commend you for putting in the extra effort. I really do.
Yeah, I have to. I want to succeed. So that's what has to happen.
Wow. All right. So tell people again how they can check your music out and where to find you and all that good stuff.
Okay. First, you can the best place to go is Tatt2timmy.com. That's gonna give you everything. That's gonna put you where you need to be, and it's TATT the number 2 TIMMY.com, or you can just Google Tatt2timmy. If you Google Tatt2timmy, it's gonna give you my whole life. Typing in Google's your friend, bro.